Hello, hello. This should be a really quick video. I'm just going to be applying my makeup before I go into the office, first time in a while. I'm going to be using a couple brushes I've got recently. I've kind of played with these before, but this will be my first time putting on a makeup look that I'm actually going to go outside with. So I'm going to be applying my makeup using my Clarisonic brush. It seems like half of my foundation brushes are now discontinued. Between the Koyudo fupas going out and a bunch of other things, I am now sorely in lack of foundation brushes that I can recommend that you can still get. So the reason why I'm using the Clarisonic brush today rather than the aforementioned fupa or any of my other ones like the Bishoto FD01 is because my skin has been peeling quite a bit from my retinol. So I apply a retinol cream every night because I was in Accutane, and then this is sort of my maintenance. Once in a while I get really dry and really peely. And the Clarisonic kind of just smooths and blends in the foundation without making the foundation grab onto texture, which can happen more. Normally it's not a problem, but I'm like having giant flakes that I can just peel right off. It's kind of gross. It's almost like a molting. And that's the 1 minute timer setting, which is, I find, more than adequate. I'm gonna do some spot concealing real quick. Then again, I'm gonna blend it in with the Clarisonic. There's a skin flake right now. What I'm doing here is I'm just turning it on and touching it to the area. Okay. I'm gonna apply a little bit of a cream blush first and then powder my face. I'll be taking this usual berry color. This kind of just provides the foundation for the slightly luminous blush I'm going to be putting over it. Sadly, I don't have any of the reefer brushes, but I believe there's a girl on the Fude subreddit, I think it might be Coffee and Cheesecake, who has a post on it, or it might be a Millennials Notebook. Actually, I think that might be the same person. But I know I've definitely seen a reefer and Chikuhodo T1 review before. You'll just kind of have to do some Google foo for it. I don't own any of the reefer brushes, so can't help you there, sorry. And then that's one of the reasons I haven't bought the reefer brushes yet, is because I don't like the idea of buying a prototype and having it change on me. I like buying the final product. So once reefer kind of like really finalizes things, I might invest in their brushes. I'm just using the Chikuhodo Z1. Wow, how rude of me. I didn't even introduce the brush. This is a Chikuhodo Z1 Gray Squirrel round powder brush, kind of a little bit tapered. It's kind of good for just all over. I'm just using setting powder. This is a loose setting powder. It works with pressed setting powder as well because the brush is dense enough to pick out pressed setting powder. I'm just using loose today. Okay, now that I've got my base all set, I could use this to apply blush, but it gets a little big for it. So I'm going to be using this Koyomo cheek brush instead. Well, this is actually by a company called Subukawa Mohetsu. The hair type is Koyomo, and the handle is Nadeshiko or Pink Pearl. I just call it the Koyomo Pink Pearl brush, cheek brush. And then I'm going to use it with this Baked Press blush here. I really don't need highlighter, but because this is the first time I've applied makeup in a while, I'm going to go for it, because why not? I like to get it on my apples. This doesn't work for everybody, but I think it looks nice on me. And then a little bit across the eyelid. That's just with whatever is left over on the edge of the brush, but it stops my eyes from looking so, I guess, ghostly. Next, I'm going to use the Hakuhodo Kokutan. This is the large eye brush. Yes, it's an eye brush. Have I ever actually used it for my eyes? No. This is a Kokutan is the ebony handle, and then the hairs here are blue squirrel. Forgot to mention, Koyomo is a type of, it translates to ancient goat, so this is old stock goat hair. That's what that one is. I do have a video on the Koyomo brushes up on my channel if you're interested in them, and I highly recommend the Pink Pearl series as a starting makeup brush series if you're brush line to get if you're first getting into fude. It's one of my most reached for brushes in the round goat shape. I have other round shaped goat brushes, but that one's my favorite because it has a lot of flexibility and bend to it. Yeah, there's actually a company, a makeup artist line called Evgeny by a Russian makeup artist. I think he has his brushes made by Hakuhodo. He calls it the Paulina brush, and for him it's a cheek brush. This definitely can be used for highlighter and blush, and obviously right now, excuse me, I'm using it for contour. The air quality air quality outside is terrible, and I can't talk today. I've already had 3 back-to-back meetings, so I'm a little talked out, and I probably should have drank some water before I did this. But as you can see, fits nicely. I'm going to use it to carve out this eye temple area just a little bit. And then a little bit under my chin. I'm getting ready for work too, so feel free to watch this afterwards. Thank you for hopping on. It will be available on replay. It's just kind of funny how sometimes it takes a couple hours, if not a couple days, for my replays to show up on my channel. So just be patient and keep checking back. Okay. That's a little spot of acne pigmentation there. So it looks like my contour is darker than it really is. So I'm going to apply a bit more to balance it out. So that was, yes, this is an eye brush. What is Hakuhodo thinking? I'm not sure. But they make great brushes, so I'm not going to complain. This is the, oops, that's upside down for you, isn't it? This is the Tanseido WQ12. This is a Saikoho goat hair brush. Also, this is also a large eye brush, but what I'm going to be using this for is for highlighting. And so I get questions about what I use for my highlight and contour. I usually just use this duo for my contour because it's a fail-safe color. Highlight, I do switch it up, but if I'm too lazy to reach for another highlighter, I just use the one in here. It's a very neutral color, but I tend to like mine to have a little bit of pinkish tone to it. So I have a couple others that are slightly pinkish or goldenish in pearl. But this is a very neutral lighting powder, so that's nice. It's great for when I'm being brainless and I don't really want to think about color matching. And the reason why I take the highlighter from my brow bone up all the way to my hairline is because my head up here is narrower than my face down here. So I kind of like to optically do an optical illusion to try to balance it out. So that's why I'm doing that with this. So this is a large eye brush. And then I did do a video on how to use large eye brushes for this clearly on the face. But I'm going to show you in a second here how to use large eye brushes like this on the eyes. Kind of reviewed it in that large video and gave some demos, but I wasn't doing an actual makeup look to go out then. So let's show you how it is doable. So I'm just using one of these quad colors. It's a lot more warm and brown than it's appearing on camera. But it's a good shade for sculpting out my eye. And I'm just kind of patting it on, starting at the lash line and then working my way out because I've deposited most of the pigment down here. By the time I work my way out, there's less pigment on the brush, so I can more gradually shade what my eye shape is going to be like. And personally for me, I like a little bit of shadow under my eyes because it makes it look bigger. Like I notice when I cover up my dark circles, my eye size seems to shrink by half. So I just do the outer third, no more than where my iris starts. And I find that works best for me and most other people. So I'm going to take a little bit more on the tip and stamp it around the outside and blend. Because this is Saikoho and the most Saikoho goat hair brushes will not poke if you use it perpendicularly and just jab into your eye like this. So poke away with impunity. And I'm going to be taking some more of a darker brown. This is some MAC color. And then this one, because I've taken it on the tip, I am going to take a bit on the, get the excess off first, and then do a little bit more stamping just on the outside corner. It's probably not showing up on camera, but it does make a difference dimension-wise in real life as I'm looking at it in the mirror. And then how I'm stamping it is like this, but the edge is slightly turned up, and then that gives me a little bit of a cat eye. So I'm not using it straight on like this. I'm tilting it slightly up with the corner out. And because this rounded edge corner will automatically blend, I don't really have to do anything but deposit the color. So there's that. I don't have a lip color. Yes, I do. So I'm going to be using this. This is another what I would consider a large eye brush. It's considerably smaller because it has a different shape and it's made of squirrel, so it flares out less. So if you're looking for large eye brushes to use, having them in a diamond tip shape like this and non-floofy will give you more control. And then I'm going to use this. This is a limited edition red squirrel brush, so sorry if you guys can't get your hands on it. But Koyudo likes to release red squirrel and Canadian squirrel brushes as limited edition runs from time to time. So just keep your eyes peeled on the CD Japan news. And I believe Fude Beauty is starting to get more and more limited edition collections. So I'm using that tip to just work a little bit of it up. And in this high point of my eye, it gets a little bit of shine and it makes my eyes look a little bigger, brighter. And I'm going to use the tip of the brush to apply a little bit of highlighter, just a tip, to the inside. This wouldn't be possible with the first brush I used because it doesn't have this tip. However, this one does. So I'm going to do it. So even though this is considered an eye detail, I'm still able to use a large brush to do it if it has the right shape. And then you can see I just went from this way to this way. And what I'm doing now is sort of licking across my lid to blend it into that sort of pink color I laid down. Okay. I think I do want a little more definition here. So I'm going to take that dark color again. And because it's on a finer tip this time, it's concentrated. You can find plenty of brushes in this shape from Western makeup brands. So I'm just showing you in general how to use a brush like this. It doesn't have to be exactly this brush. Having it in Red Squirrel is very nice. It's super soft and does not irritate the waterline whatsoever. Take a little bit more, balance it. And of course I'm going to have to clean my hands off at the end of this. So that's this brush. I'm going to take this brush. This is a brush I'm testing out right now. This is a Shakuda 822. This is the large eyeshadow brush made of gray squirrel. And I'm going to clean up under my eyes a bit. So I've gotten a little bit of powder fallout, which is what happens when I use the MAC shadow. So I was prepared for this. And what I like to do is not go over with concealer and smudge it around. I take a brush and load it up with a bunch of powder like this. And I sort of use that to pick up and wipe away. So I'm at once using the powder to brighten up under my eyes, as well as using all these fluffy bristles to pick up the dark pigment. And that's a quick trick for you if you get eyeshadow fallout. It doesn't work so well with glitter. With glitter, you do have to pre-powder under your eyes and then wipe it away. But this is another use for large eye brushes. Clearly, I'm in a large eye brush kick this month. I haven't used a pencil brush in a while now that I think about it. Okay. Hakuhodo or Bishodo for face brushes. It really depends on what you're looking at. Hakuhodo just makes so many. I can't say, oh, go to Bishodo or go to Hakuhodo. Bishodo, I think their most unique selling points are probably in the FD01. There's a couple videos back of me using it to apply foundation. It is a great foundation brush. So that's a face brush. As far as Hakuhodo foundation brushes, I guess that is one thing. I don't really use Hakuhodo foundation brushes. I've always preferred ones from Koyudo and a lot of other companies, actually. I have a couple Hakuhodo foundation brushes, but they aren't my favorite. As far as face brushes, more of my face brushes are from Hakuhodo. But that's because I've been able to touch, feel, and see them in person. And once you touch and feel a Hakuhodo brush, it's really hard to put it down and walk away. As for Bishodo, I'm much more careful about my purchases from them. So there's far fewer impulse purchases rather. So that's why I have fewer. No, do I even have a Bishodo? No, I don't have any Bishodo face brushes now that I think about it. I get mostly their eye brushes. Oh. Again, I forgot. This is the Shakuda Angled Eyebrow Brush. This is made of Water Badger and Pony, and I've really, really, really been liking it. I have a Shoot or more pure Water Badger one, and I really like this Water Badger Pony mix better. And now all there is to do is top off with mascara, and then I am going to be out the door shortly. So If you have questions, get them in the next 2 minutes or so because I've got to run. You're welcome. Sorry it wasn't very helpful. Maybe using loose powder today wasn't the best idea. I got black dress pants on, so I'm gonna have some white speckles all over my black pants if I don't remember to wipe it off. Yay me. My left eye has fewer lashes, so I focus more on coating each individual lash. Sometimes my right eye has thicker eyelashes, sometimes it's the left, so it's always a balancing act. Okay. And with that, I am done. So, quick review. This is the Chikuhodo Z1, a round powder brush made of gray squirrel. This is the Koyomo pink pearl cheek brush made of a old stock goat hair. It's Haku Ototsuho, but it feels like Saikoho with a thicker body, so it has more spring to it. But it's not packed super tight, so it's pretty loose. This is a Hakuhodo blue squirrel head, Kokutan ebony body, large eye brush. I use it as a cheek brush. This is a gray squirrel Shakuda large eye brush I've been using. I just used it for cleanup today. This is the Tanseido WQ12, a Saikoho large eye brush that I use for laying down most of my eyeshadow base. This is a most large eye brush of Red Squirrel from Koyudo I use for doing the lid and detail. And this is a water badger / pony angled brow brush, also from Shakuda, the same UBU line that I've been testing out. And I'm really pleased with how they worked. So thanks for watching. Yeah. About the playback, I've discovered that the playbacks often don't post right away. So maybe don't refresh this page, and because if you do, I think it might go away. And it takes a couple hours to a whole day to show up on my channel sometimes. So thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.